All right, let's talk about Tesla. Is Tesla doomed? We're going to take a look at the future of Tesla and Elon Musk. It's been quite an eventful week. I started working on some content earlier in the week, and if you don't make content on Tesla every single day, you just can't keep up. There's so much going on. It's pretty insane. Is Tesla finished? The headlines are sure making it feel that way. Lots happened for Tesla in the month of April. It's hard to come by anything good, to be honest. And investing in Tesla now for the last, I've been in it since 2019. It's been very challenging to say the least over the past 3 years. And it's been getting worse. Bulls are definitely starting to feel the pain. They're beginning to break. There's a lot of discord amongst the ranks. If you go on, Tesla Twitter, a lot of arguing, a lot of bickering. The problem is really the stock price got way ahead of the company, while simultaneously the economy has obviously been facing massive challenges. But nothing has changed fundamentally with Tesla, the company. They're firing away. They're doing great. You do have these far and away projects that may or may not ever happen, like Robotaxi and the Optimus humanoid robot, which it seems like this all became baked into the stock price as if they were right around the corner. The reality is this was always going to be a multi-year, maybe even decades-long story. Now, there's no question that, Tesla has one of the best company cultures. And as long as that's intact, I'm still feeling fine with my investment. They've got quite a deep roster. I know we had some notable departures this last week. But it's not the first time. I mean, in 2018, JB Straubel left. That was a big deal. He was basically the right-hand man. Company did fine after that, going up like 1,000%. So I don't think that alone is indicative of anything. Drew Baglino, he had a great run, 18 years at Tesla. Do you have any idea what that must have been like? Like, I cannot imagine the stress he's under. Maybe he needs a vacation. Maybe he wants to spend time with family. I mean, kudos to him. That was an incredible run. That's a really long time. All I know is that Tesla's culture, Tesla's deep roster, if anybody's going to bring these things like the Robotaxi and the humanoid robot to reality, it's going to be them. Now, before our current not a recession began, investors were happy. We were enjoying record deliveries every quarter with our industry-leading, automotive margins while we waited for these sci-fi projects to become mainstream. Again, nothing changed at Tesla. They continue to deliver. The economy just tanked. They continue to drive down the cost of the cars, but thanks to inflation and high interest rates, the auto market has quickly returned to the cyclical, less than ideal business it's been historically. Now, there are some positives, which people seem to have quickly forgotten. It wasn't so long ago, the Model Y just became the best-selling vehicle globally of all cars, not just electric cars. I got to make that clear. In 2023, the Cybertruck has finally started to roll out. And while, of course, it's going to have some kinks in the short term, the media will jump all over that. All new product releases have kinks that need to be worked out. The problem or benefit, depending how you want to look at it, is that Tesla and Elon Musk generate the most clicks for the media, and you've got this sensationalism which abounds. I mean, have you seen this thing? It is sure to reinvigorate interest in Tesla. I mean, just look at this thing. Have you seen it? It's sure to reinvigorate interest in Tesla. Here it was a couple weeks back parading around New York City, towing a Model Y. On the side there, it says, the best-selling car in the world is made in America. Now, that's how you advertise. Now, the Tesla growth story was still alive and well as of the end of 2023. As you can see in their total deliveries right here, they've been growing. I mean, 2022, 2023 still saw almost 50% growth. Now, yes, Q1 2024, we did see a slowdown that spooked many. I do think short-term Tesla stock is going to continue to go lower. It may be ugly short-term, but, long-term, really the only legitimate threat to Tesla's market share is Chinese car manufacturers. And I do think it's a massive threat, not to be, understated, but that's it. That's their only competition. No one else can compete with them. How many Tesla killers have we seen come and go last few years, like the wind? China definitely poses legitimate competition, but purely looking at it as a car business, I still think Tesla, their saving grace could be this whole, they can be like the Apple of the industry, right? They have the Apple card where you look at Apple, you look at iPhone sales. The iPhone has many cheaper competitors. Apple only has around 20% or so. It fluctuates between 17, 23%, around 20% of the global smartphone market share, and yet they capture the majority of the profits from that market. I see a similar path possible for Tesla should they ever lose their sheer dominance in EV volumes, which despite this downtick, all the automakers had a downtick in Q1 for EV, especially, and also the Chinese ones like BYD. So should Tesla ever lose their sheer dominance, I do think that's still a possibility, and they do well either way. If they continue to have massive market share, or if it drops all the way down to 20%, I mean, they're still going to sell a ton of cars. And of course, this doesn't even factor in, full self-driving, the possibility of robo-taxis. Now, look at Tesla's revenue growth over the last 4 years. Sure, has it slowed down? Yes. But I think growing, nearly 20% in 2023 is still very impressive, just all things considered, what's going on. And it's been a very tough market, right? High interest rates, like who can afford to buy brand new electric vehicles? My eggs cost 100% more than they did a year ago. Like, I think people have other priorities right now. And the company has a strong balance sheet. I mean, their cash position continues to grow. The reality is Tesla could sell these cars at cost or close to it and just keep taking market share. And when things get better with the economy, the margins can come back a little bit. Maybe we won't ever get back to those really high margins, but they don't need them. They have all these other things under the works. Now, Tesla peaked in 2021, November, at over $400 a share. You can see right here. And it's been on a nice, slow, and steady decline ever since. It's not been a fun 3 years. But if you just zoom out a little more, you can see that over this 5-year period, the stock is up 850%, more than 850%. And the same 5-year period, the S&P 500 is only up 70%. 2019 was when I began investing in Tesla, way back here. Feels like an eternity ago. And it was definitely a fundamentally different story back then. They had just begun successfully ramping Model 3. There was virtually no competition. Demand was quasi-infinite. And this did continue for a few years, right? We saw Tesla succeed during the pandemic when a lot of their competitors were supply chain constrained. Tesla succeeded during the pandemic years thanks to perspicacity, really. While a lot of their competitors struggled, their supply chains were just utterly wrecked with the pandemic. And that was the result was Tesla posting record delivery numbers every quarter with seemingly impossible and increasing profit margins. Okay, so that's changed now. Margins have declined quite a bit from their highs. Still, since the company is well capitalized, they can essentially sell cars, as I said, at or near cost, just to take market share as long as they need to keep that going, with the possibility for a future upsell with things like FSD, which they just dropped the price from $199 to $99 a month. This is really a hardware and software company, which a lot of their competitors in the auto space lack. I mean, that's where all of their margins can come from. I think we just got to give this some time to play out. So there's obviously been a lot of recent news. I'll just quickly touch on some of the important stuff. You got this asinine court case regarding Elon's pay package from 2018 that suddenly has become a problem 6 years after the fact, where Elon accepted this compensation package. It required him to hit company goals that seemed impossible. People laughed at the time because if he did not hit them, he would receive no compensation. Well, shareholders voted in favor of it. He did hit every benchmark, making shareholders rich in the process. Again, since that time, it's up over 1,000%, and an unhappy shareholder who owned 9 shares. I cannot believe this is real, brought suit and somehow won. You can't make it up. Honestly, I know that they're now trying to push through this new comp package. If Elon doesn't get paid, I think there's a good chance he's going to walk. I mean, my man has been working for free for like 6 years now. If he doesn't get that money, I mean, it's ridiculous. But while that will be an utter calamity were he to leave the company, I do think, again, this is where we'll have to be patient. The stock would obviously crater and hit unfathomable lows that is going to shake a lot of people out. But, Steve Jobs left Apple once or twice and he came back. And I could maybe see something similar, unfolding in the worst case scenario. They obviously had Elon recently announce the robotaxi unveil on August 8th. I think this is more of a brace for the 2 terrible quarters we're about to hit. First of which is 4/23, I believe, Tuesday, and I'll definitely cover it here, next week within a couple days after. So he's trying to give us something to look forward to, August 8th. And at this rate, it seems like the humanoid Optimus robot is going to hit the mainstream market before robotaxis. A future with FSD and robotaxis still seems possible. I don't think it hits mainstream adoption anytime soon. I think it's going to be years before that, let alone getting past regulators. There's definitely going to be more pain short term. I'm bracing for that. But, nothing seems to have changed fundamentally with Tesla, the company. It's all economic issues. This is not going to last forever. So, and then the company just announced it's laying off 10% of employees. Tesla's between their 2 growth curves. They've got to streamline the company for the next phase. And it's also interesting going back to their 5-year performance. Warren Buffett says to judge companies on their 5-year performance, as it tells you more than quarterly or even yearly results do. I'd say that 5-year performance chart of the stock going up over 1,000% or 850, depending when you started. 850% I'll take. I say that says a lot. Short term, the numbers don't look good, but it's just the cyclical nature of all this, right? But is Tesla in a better place today than they were 5 years ago? Absolutely. So Tesla is and always has been a long-term story. I'm still looking 3 to 5 years out, if not more. Short term, I don't think this is going to be a fun time. I'll be honest. But I think more and more the ability to delay gratification is becoming a superpower. And those that are able to delay gratification instead of seeking immediate gratification, yours is the world in investing and beyond. Luckily, in the meantime, while Tesla stock has continued to decline, I've been able to make an extra $8,018.53 this year through some of my options trading strategies. So that's definitely helping a little bit with watching the stock price tank every day. Here's a screenshot of just some of my recent trades from the last week. And I share all of these in real time with community members. So if you're interested, consider subscribing to that through my Substack in the linked in the bio below or linked in the description below. Forget what platforms I'm on these days. There's too many. But consider subscribing, like this video, and let me know in the comments what you think of Tesla. And if you're interested in the community, we're doing weekly Zoom calls there. We've got a great group of guys, and I'm sharing all my investments there. So check it out. I'll see you guys on the next one. This is Vinny from the Investment Club. See you next time.